Today I'm going to be talking about real estate versus the stock market and kind of where I am with it and kind of my own biases that I have. I think that both of them are very, very essential in building wealth. I think everybody needs to have exposure to both, and I think, as everyone knows, diversification is key. The problem is that because of lack of financial education, lack of financial literacy, majority of people will never enter the stock market in their entire lives. Some people are knowledgeable enough to know that at some point you have to put your money in the markets as well, but some people are just very real estate only. I don't want to think about anything else. It's scary, it's overwhelming, which is perfectly understandable. I talked about this in the first video of the series. There's this Reddit post that I was reading about real estate versus the stock market for people in Toronto, and there was this person who posted that they bought a house and they own a house in Toronto, and they bought it in, I think it was the late 90s. I feel like they bought it for like 100,000 or something. Right now it is worth 750,000, or their equity in the house is 750,000 today. They also said that if they had invested that money into Berkshire Hathaway stock, their initial down payment, their equity would be worth $34 million. So $750,000 to $34 million. That's part of where my bias comes from for the stock market. Also, the barrier to entry is, you need $100,000, right? For me, I'm very dead set on buying a detached house. I don't want a house hack. I want to own the whole house. I want to live in the whole house. I want the space. Don't want to have maintenance fees. I don't want to take any shortcuts. I want what I want, and I won't buy it till the numbers absolutely make sense. And I have supreme confidence that, oh no, I'm not worried about, the prices are going to go up too fast. I'm not worried about that. I know that my income is going to keep on increasing. Where was I going with that? So anyways, you need $100,000, right? So ignore pre-construction for a second. Even with the pre-construction, you need $100,000 if you're buying a detached, right? I don't care where the house is, right? Like, I will move far away. I'm not tied to being close to the city for anything, really. I actually prefer to be further away and come into the city when I need to. Regardless of where it is, like within the GTA, like, you need $100,000. So my whole thing is, I am saving, right? Just like a lot of people are. But until I get there, I am very heavily biased towards the stock market because there is no barrier to entry financially. You can invest with fractional trading. You can invest $1 through Wealthsimple today into the S&P 500. You can invest $1 into Apple stock, Google stock, Tesla stock, TD Bank stock. There's fractional trading, and the fact is there's a way to build their wealth now before they get the house that they don't have to commit thousands of dollars to or anything like that. You could start with $50 a month, right? That's like a reasonable amount of money to contribute to it, and then continue it throughout the rest of your life. Build your wealth that way. Diversify your investments, diversify your wealth, build up your portfolio with a TFSA. Obviously, say you're in your 20s or 30s or even younger, but say you're in your 20s or 30s, by the time you're in your 40s and 50s, you don't have to wait till 65. I mean, you could be getting dividend income in your portfolio, or say you have a significant amount of capital gains in an overvalued stock or something like that, and you have some sort of emergency. Your stock portfolio is liquid. Me personally, I wouldn't pull money out of it. I previously had that mindset, but I'm now of the mindset is I would pull out dividends if I absolutely need to use it to pay my expenses in the future, but I will not pull out my capital. I will trim any investments that have grown a lot really quickly, and if I need to reinvest that into other things, I will. If I need to use that for anything, like maybe $5,000 or whatnot in the future, I will pull that out, but I will leave majority of my capital in there. You don't have to wait till you have your down payment for a house to build wealth. Just begin to build wealth. I mean, obviously, to really begin to build wealth. I mean, obviously, if you have savings, that is technically considered your wealth. The majority out here doesn't own property, right? And or the majority out here owns property, but they don't feel great about it because of the numbers and how crazy, it is, the amount of work you got to put in and slave away just to afford that house that you bought or that property that you bought. You know what I mean? Inflation is the thing that doesn't get talked about enough. I need to talk about inflation in the next video, but cost of living is going to continue to go up. Grocery costs, fuel, housing's the biggest one, really, right? Like people talk about groceries and the cost of fuel and stuff, but if your housing costs are manageable and you can comfortably afford your housing costs, I don't think you're complaining about groceries or fuel. You know what I mean? Obviously, that's not majority of people are not in that situation, so majority of people are complaining about everything, but housing is the biggest one. And that's what I'm talking about, real estate versus the stock market. And if the numbers don't make sense, why would you slave away to buy it? You know what I mean? Just because everybody else around you is saying, hey, if you're going to rent, you might as well buy. You know what I mean? If you're going to throw away rent, you might as well buy. Well, it's not 2010 anymore, right? So if it was 2010, I don't think I would be as passionate about getting this information out there about you need to invest. You need to invest. You need to invest. I'm of the mindset, I don't know if you are, if you're watching this, but I'm of the mindset that you can do it all. I mean, if you really want to, you can do anything you want to. You just got to put the work in. You got to have a plan. You have to have a strategy. You need to set goals, and you'll get there. If you really narrow in and focus on it day in, day out, you will get there. You can travel. You can buy a property starting from now. You can invest on the side. You can spend money on all the things you love. It's just, what are you willing to sacrifice to get there? It may take a few years to build it up. In this day and age where we have so much access to information and the ability to monetize just literally speaking on camera, there's so many other things out there that you can do. You can increase your income. You can learn new skills, increase your income. Like, that's the biggest thing, right? Learning a new skill, increasing your income, and taking that money, putting it to work, rinse and repeat. Suddenly things are affordable. But majority of people won't do that, and that's why I'm making this video. You need to learn to invest, at least educate yourself to the point where you can do the bare minimum of buying an index fund or buying an index ETF and being confident about doing it. Added bonus of doing that is that in the future you can pay it forward and you can go and you can teach someone else how to fish. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this video. I was rambling a little bit, but just wanted to get that off my chest. You know, I hope it helps somebody and hope you guys find value in it. All right, see you in the next one.